Hi everybody, welcome back to the channel. My name's Kyle and the channel's called Kyle by the Creek. I just finished up working on this Ariens 20 automatic. It's a 2014 lawn tractor. But let me take you back in time. I'll show you the day that I got it, how I worked on it, fixed it, and got it to this point. If you like the video, please subscribe. I'm just picking up the camera about a week later here, and let's see, I just put some things back together. Just so I could keep this thing out in the elements here, but I have not touched this thing. You know, I'm still pretty sure I'll be able to get this thing running, so I think this will be something that works out pretty good for us. Starter cable's loose. Let's try that again. Just tighten down that nut. Oh, it's a bad starter. It's a lot of compression in there. It's only going to be running on one. We know that for sure. Just too much compression. I don't know if you saw it fire though. It did fire off once. A little pop. All right. Well, that's what that does. We're back a few days later. So it wouldn't start. The compression's just way too high. So I think I'm just going to throw this push rod in. All these valves are super loose, and that's creating some really high compression. Our poor starter just can't handle it. So I'm just gonna slap this back together a little bit just to see how it runs. I really want to diagnose this thing, especially the transmission, which, if you remember, the guy said it didn't reverse, and that's a little worrisome. So we got to see if this is a viable project still. Okay, everything's put back together. Nothing seemed wrong besides it looked like someone tried to adjust the valves. Everything was loose. Wow. That's rough. The battery pack doesn't like that. This starter's in pretty bad shape. Compression still seems pretty high here. so I did get it to drive forward. I went underneath and the belt had come loose from one of the pulleys down there. It was really easy to fix, but yeah, it doesn't go in reverse, and if the parking brake's not on, the thing just creeps forward. So I don't know, it seems to me like we have a linkage that's either bent or out of adjustment, but I think this thing is running really nice. Okay, one of you were right in the comments of my last video. You said this thing's probably got a plastic transmission and there's a bunch of junk in there, and that's binding up the linkage. And I just took my power washer real quick, hit the transmission, and then you can tell it's real rough. I'm jamming it into reverse and there's this big pop, and then the linkage will let it go into reverse, and then it gets stuck in reverse. You have to pop it into forward. But yeah, nothing wrong with the trans. It's all linkage related, I think. The engine's running great. I haven't restarted it. Obviously that was really rough to get it started. Probably needs a new starter, and that's not too surprising. But the engine runs awesome. Real smooth, and idles great. And the transmission works great. It even does very well up hills. So we just got to figure out this linkage. Wow. All right, we're a little while later. I actually posted a YouTube short about how this thing is operating, where it feels like you have to press on the brake pedal in order to switch from forward to reverse. Got mixed results with that. The comments were, some people were like, completely normal, that's how mine operates, and other people are saying the return spring or something isn't getting it back to neutral. I don't know. We're gonna get it in the shed, try to get it up on the hoist a bit, see if we can figure it out. Oh, I am getting a new starter for this. Yeah, it's a little difficult to control when you're trying to like nuance getting it perfectly backed up into here. So I mean, hopefully there's a fix to it. Hopefully this isn't how it's supposed to operate, because if this is how it's supposed to operate, it's just cumbersome, you know. I don't know, it's drivable, like everything works and it actually drives really great. It's a new battery that I put in it, and I determined that really, I think this thing has a starter that's just all really beat up. Like the Bendix is loose. So we just need a new starter. Someone was beating on it. But I want to take the battery out so we can get into some linkages again if we need to. So there is a nut here that is connected to the forward and reverse pedal. This linkage up here is your brake pedal. There's a spring, not sure what that's doing, but I could easily adjust that nut. I could pull that in a little bit, see if that makes a difference. I'm just looking for something I can adjust. There's a big spring right there. I just don't see any adjustment with that. This is your neutral That's your disengagement. Boy, it's hard to pull too. You know what? I kind of want to take this cover off because I can see, I don't know if you can see. Alright, when I pull it into neutral, that brake lever gets adjusted slightly. And I know that this neutral disengagement, or this, you know, putting it into rolling mode, it does work. Or is it just one Torx that holds that on? Maybe I'll just take that off real quick, see what it looks like underneath that. Okay, well, I took 2 bolts off, but then I just snapped it. I'm sure I'll go back in just fine, but yeah, it is all sorts of jammed up in there. I'm pretty sure this is our issue in there. Boy, I wish there was a nice way to remove this, but I just pulled on it a little too hard. I didn't know if it was clipped in or not. But yeah, there was this, I removed that. Then there was another one over here. I did remove that. I thought that was it. I was wrong. Apparently it's impossible to remove. But yeah, I don't know if you can see down in there where there's like 4 springs intersecting. It's all jammed up with junk. I'm gonna bring it over to the pressure washer and clean all that out. All right, back from the power wash. Much cleaner in there. I did some WD-40, and I'm gonna try to put that plastic cover back in place and give this another try. All right, well, that made no difference. Wait a minute, there's a spring dangling here. All right, gotta figure out where that goes. At least we found something I can work with at least. Really, but as soon as you give it more throttle, it's like so close to being correct. Now it's making me think that it absolutely, there is something wrong. You know, before I was like, maybe this is how Ariens wants it. Step on the brake before you have to go in reverse. That kind of sounds like a safety. I have to take this battery off for the 1000th time. I might have figured it out. You're probably not going to believe it, but I think it had something to do with this. The bend in here. Oh man, you can't even see. Alright, where this is connected, there's like a couple Z-bends in this. And it was not where it is right now. It was in one of those deeper Z-bends. So this would be like disengaged, that would be engaged, and it's not, I still don't like it. Meaning, like, I think there's a little bit of a click going into reverse, but forward is pretty nice now. I don't know. This thing is messing with my head, because it's like, how much of this is just cheap design and I'm just feeling like the cheapness of it or how much of this is there's something wrong. But that's like the biggest improvement that I've been able to make, so that's good. Well, I was this close to giving up on this thing, but I am pretty happy with that adjustment. It is usable now. It is definitely not my preferred transmission, but I'm actually at the point where I think it's okay. I think it's how it was designed to operate, and we can leave that up to the buyer if they don't like that little click going into reverse. But it's not that bad. It really is just there, and if you do kind of time it right, you can get it to be very smooth, but most of the time it does feel like a little click. You know, let's see, what do I have here that's, I mean, this is a hydrostatic, but this is what you're used to, you know, just this to that, seamless. There's no click. You know, this is just a little bit different, I guess. Yeah, the plastic transmission, I think it is what people say it is, but here it is. It's still standing, and the engine is great. So, all right, what's next with this? I think I'm going to proceed. We'll get to this big 46-inch mowing deck, which is in really solid shape. We'll clean it up. We'll grind down any little rust spots. We'll repaint it. I'm pretty sure I checked all the bearings and everything, but we'll double check. I think everything's in good shape. It's got decent blades underneath. The belt is very good. So yeah, a new starter is on the way, an air filter is on the way, oil filter, spark plug, that sort of stuff. But then painting the deck and putting it back together and see if anyone likes this Ariens automatic. All right, let's start working on this mowing deck. I want to get some of it taken apart, not all of it, but let's get these belt guides off. One dropped out, the other one's stuck. The swirl marks from the abrasive wheel look pretty interesting, but I think I got off the major flaking rust, although this thing had hardly any. This deck is rock solid. It's in very good condition. You can tell that this was stored inside and away from most moisture, although it did have a lot of clumping grass in the bottom. You know, none of the pulleys are seized. You could just tell it was out of the rain. Everything's in really nice shape, and it's gonna look brand new once it's painted black. Man, that's all mangled up. And the bearing is seized on there. Yeah, I don't know if you can tell what I'm talking about. This is all deformed. You know, so the other previous owner just fastened it on there real hard, but it just makes it worse. It's not ideal. I like to get this bearing out. Alright, well here's the damaged one. I tried to extract that bearing. It's not going well, but I have a parts one. This one's in great shape, but I just needed to acquire a bearing. So now I have a bearing that's packed with grease, and we'll replace that spindle, or the spindle shaft and bearing, so that this is fully functional again. I don't know if you can tell how bent that is, but that's not gonna work. All right, I put in another one. It's a little hard to tell. This cap is a little bent, but the shaft is straight. And as you saw in time lapse, our mowing deck is all complete. We're about ready to install it now. And I fired this thing up from, I don't know, a week or two of sitting, and fired right up, even though it needs a new starter. We do have the starter. And drive pedal's working just fine. I actually didn't even really notice any weird click into reverse or forward. So yeah, I'm ready to continue with this. So let's get the mowing deck installed. Well, everything went great, except I don't have a belt keeper on this side. Let me loosen the mowing belt. See, if you have the mowing belt disengaged, it's gonna fall off this side. There's a keeper on the other side though. Oh, you know what? Here it is. It's broken. For some reason that got broken. So we're gonna have to look for a replacement there. I might have one. Oh yes, the YS 4500. This thing has given me many parts. That's the part we wanted. Mowing deck is nice and even. Got our battery back installed. Alright, let's see if this thing mows. That thing is smooth, really quiet. So those bearings are in great shape. And I don't know if you saw just one time, one little click going into reverse when I was there, but when I was mowing in reverse, no problems. I mean, like I said, I think it's just fine. It's going to be up to someone's preference. You know, I'll tell them I noticed that, and we'll see what they think. If they have a problem with it, they might negotiate down or walk away, and that's okay. Someone will eventually buy this thing. All right, here's our engine service parts: oil filter, air filter, spark plugs, fuel filter, 2 of them. Only need 1. And then we have our starter in here, wrapped in some bubble wrap. All right, so let's start taking the engine cover off. We'll do that starter first, and then we'll get after the oil. All right, I almost forgot I want to clean up these valve covers here, because that's just a mess from the previous owner, and this vacuum tube is shot, so that's going to need to be replaced too. Yeah, we're leaking just a little bit of oil down here. There's basically no silicone on the seal, so it's just kind of slapped together for the moment, but we'll make that look nice. We'll put some silicone on there and we won't gob it up like they did. Yeah, we got to secure the fuel pump, that sort of stuff. Just really just little things, kind of normal engine stuff. Be nice to get all that cleaned up too. There's just 2 bolts on there for now. Should have pretty good access to the starter from over here. Whoa, look at that. There's a bolt missing. All right, let's that could be some of the reason why we don't like this starter. They have the bolt. Yeah, there's a bolt back there, but the main bolt is missing. I wonder if this starter's just fine. It probably is. I kind of want to put a bolt in it just to see if it's a good starter. I have a new one. I'm going to put it on it, but then that'll let me know if I could use that as a parts starter. All right, here's the bolt. Well, a bolt. I had one. They were probably trying to put a new starter on it and couldn't get the other bolt off, because that one is hard to reach. But really, if you have one of these with the Torx on it, whatever this is, T40, a T40 Allen, really helpful. All right, let's see if this thing starts better. Okay. It's like jammed now. Or maybe that's why they loosened it up. Oh no. Alright, I think that starter Bendix is bent because it just is not engaging properly, so yeah, I think we need to replace it. Well, I have the starter off now, and interestingly the other bolt was loose too, so kind of a miracle that starter was working with really just 1 bolt halfway tightened. So either whatever it is, we're gonna replace the whole thing here. So let's put this new one in. You know, I kind of wonder if that old starter, if there's nothing wrong with it, just needed 2 bolts secured properly. But yeah, I'm done messing around with it. I'm just gonna get a new one installed, and I'm sure that will take care of our problems. Okay, new starter installed. Let's check it out. And it's grinding on the flywheel. What are we missing here? Are we missing like a shim or a spacer? Maybe. I'm gonna try these 2 washers behind. I know sometimes some starters have a bracket that helps guide and protect the electrical wires that run by the flywheel. I wonder if that's missing from ours, and the gear is just too close to the flywheel without the spacers. So I'm gonna throw those in and give it a try. One more time. All right, starter fixed. Yeah, and I wasn't exaggerating. Like, that's how much silicone's going on this. Alright, there's a thin layer. Got these all cleaned up too. Sprayed down with some carb cleaner. We'll get these installed. Covers are installed and a new vacuum hose also. If you ever lose the screws to these grass screens, just kind of regular screws, deck screws, they work fine. They thread right in. I think it's better that they match than do like 4 different types, so it works out great. Alright, so we're going to remove this fuel filter. We'll install a shutoff too. We're draining the oil. Oil looks pretty good, like brand new, but might as well change it and the filter. Kind of strange that this doesn't come with a pre-filter, but okay. Let's do the spark plug. You know, and why wouldn't it just be finger tight? This poor engine. It's a 1316. Well, the ones we got with the kit are not 1316. They're the 3/4. And we'll do the other side. And the other side had a different spark plug, 3/4 size Champion RC12YC, which I'm sure is the right plug. Alright, we've got a new oil filter and fresh oil. So the engine has been completely serviced and checked over for leaks and vacuum leaks and all that sort of thing. We're going to have to run it for a little bit, make sure those valve cover gaskets aren't leaking. This thing will need to get cleaned again and polished up. Or remove this knob. It's a little extra. Let's get it cleaned up. All right, so we're back a couple hours later after the power wash. Let's mow the grass. It needs it. I don't know if you can see all the clovers growing. It's slowed down just a little bit. That must mean it's getting hot, and it is. But what a beautiful day for mowing some grass. So let's get this lawn done, see how this Ariens holds up. Well, my goodness, this thing is probably the fastest sit-down lawnmower I've ever ridden. I just blazed through this backyard. It's almost too fast. It's a bumpy ride. If you put that pedal all the way down, you're like holding on. I'll take you along for a little bit of a ride so you can see. I see a little bit of smoke. Let's check on our valve covers. I think we're okay. Oh, that's what it is. Ah, it's plastic. Ooh. Yep. We might have burned through our headlights there. Yeah, this was so long, I was worried about this. All right. Well, we'll keep an eye on that. We might have to do some wiring repair. It's not so bad. I'd rather have that than leaky valve covers. So far, everything looks very dry as far as oil is concerned. And it's driving great. So, yeah, I'll take you along for a little bit of a bumpy ride so you can see what it's like with this thing at full speed. Yeah, it's quick, really quick. I mean, I don't know if you can experience what I'm experiencing, but it feels like it's like 2 miles per hour faster than your standard tractor. I don't know if that's the plastic transmission. That thing is quick. Yeah, no issues operating it. Thing cuts amazing. Gets the job done, that's for sure. Yeah, I'm liking the cut. The turning radius is top notch. The speed is unbelievable. I don't know. I kind of like this thing. Well, it's the next day. I did a whole bunch of mowing yesterday. I didn't film it all, obviously. Then I gave it a quick wash down, just let it dry here overnight, and it's the next afternoon. But yeah, I mowed the whole lawn. You can see it came out great. So I just kept mowing and mowing. I did all in there, up by the road. And then I even did a huge part of the hill. I tried to film some of that. So I wanted to film it because honestly, this mower is one of the fastest sit-down riding mowers I've ever ridden on. It's like a zero turn, it's so quick. Not quite, but it's right about there. And this thing absolutely hauls going up the hill. There's almost no slowdown because of gravity. It just goes right up. And I was pretty impressed with it. I'm like spinning the tires on it half the time, because if you just have your foot down on the go pedal, this thing wants to go. And so there's some, I don't know if you've seen me do the hill before, but this area, there's rocks in there. It's really steep in some spots. It's like, you know, almost straight up. But I can't get in there with a mower ever. This area here, you can see here where I was losing traction on one tire, and you know, it's spinning pretty good. I'd love to get in here someday and be able to mow this. I actually don't totally mind this tree that's popped up, but a lot of poison ivy, some raspberry bushes, which I'll try to keep some of those, but you know, it just looks messy. This I'll eventually get with a weed whacker. I just need to put on some long pants and keep the poison ivy away, type of thing. Good girl, Carmen. So yeah, I think we're at the point, guys, where we're gonna polish this thing up. I'm loving the way it's operating. I need to fix the wires because I melted through some wires. Actually, haven't even checked to see if headlights work. Let's try that out. We got the headlights on. Let's give it a try. Yeah, we lost our headlights. So yeah, I got to work on the wiring for that, but that's easy enough. I'm gonna get it polished up. right, so we're back where we started with this Ariens. It's all finished up and it's ready for sale. Well, we're back in the workshop, and I just wanted to say thank you guys for tuning in and following along with the project. Like I said in the beginning, if you like the video, please like it and subscribe. That really helps me out. And if you're new to the channel, this is what I do. I flip lawn tractors, so I find a way to get them for pretty cheap. Sometimes I get them as a trade-in like this, or sometimes I'll go out on Marketplace and actually buy them for cheap. And then I fix them and service them, and a lot of times I'm trying to make them look as nice as they can. That's why you see me painting the mowing decks. I find that maybe that's not needed in your area, but for whatever it is, I'm in Connecticut and people want their lawn tractors looking as brand new as they can get it. And if I put them out like this, where they're all shiny, cleaned up, painted, they sell right away for a pretty good price. So I'm gonna be listing this on Marketplace right when I finish up this video. And if you guys like this sort of thing where you get to see start to finish a lawn tractor go from broken to fixed to hopefully sold, then follow along with the channel, and we'll catch you guys on the next tractor video.